This is Between the Brackets, a MediaWiki podcast, episode 56, March 17th, 2020. Welcome to Between the Brackets. I'm Yaron Koren, and my guest for this episode is Strack van Schijndel, who heads the Dutch MediaWiki consulting company Wikibase Solutions. And just to avoid confusion, Wikibase Solutions has nothing to do with Wikibase, the MediaWiki extension that powers Wikidata. I'm pretty sure Wikibase Solutions, the company, came well before Wikibase, the software. Anyway, I've known Ad for over 10 years now, and it's great to finally have him on the podcast. Ad, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So I know you're in the Netherlands, but where specifically are you located?
Our headquarters is in Oosterhout. That's near Breda. And that's a little bit in the south. Of course, the Netherlands is not that big, so it's all quite compact. And we have also an office in Rotterdam, which is a splendid location with a view over the harbor. So anybody who is in the Netherlands should really visit us. And I would say in Rotterdam.
Oh, okay. But you're in Oosterhout right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So speaking of naming confusion, I believe Strack is not your middle name, but rather part of your last name, Strack van Schijndel.
Yes.
Which means that I think you have both the shortest first name and the longest last name of anyone I know.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So I know you've been doing MediaWiki stuff for at least the last 12 years or so, but before we get to that, what were you doing before then?
I worked with Capgemini, which is, of course, a large IT company, also in the Netherlands. It's French originally. I worked with Capgemini for 23 years. So I left there in 2012, but I worked with MediaWiki already before that. So I have had for a short period within Capgemini, let's say, my MediaWiki shop, and we had a few customers.
Yeah, but other than wiki stuff, what were you doing at Capgemini?
I've done everything that has to do with custom software development. So I've been a programmer, team lead, project lead, architect, designer. And at the end, I was responsible. I was the technical, let's say, the technical responsible for a team of Microsoft developers.
Oh,
so it was a department of about 80 people, and I was the second in command, I think you would say, but responsible for, let's say, for the result of the projects. And for the development of the people, so the real boss didn't know anything about IT. So
yeah, okay. So
I have some experience. Yeah, I've had some, and I've worked also with the project at Capgemini in the Netherlands. We had a project. Let's say a specific place where the projects were located. It was at CMM level 3, so that it was an environment that had everything to do projects in a good way, with all the tools and the methods and everything supported. Yeah.
Yeah. What was that CMM level 3 thing?
That's the capability maturity model. At that time, it was very important, and it meant that your development process was all right. So first, you have different levels, and level 3 means that you not only know what you're doing, but you also do it in a predictable way and standardized way, and it's all about the software development process.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
So lots of experience that I I took with me to when I started Wikibase, and of course lots of experience. I have a companion now, Yaron van Kakerken. He's also the co-owner of Wikibase.
Oh, okay.
And and of course we have a lot of employees, some of which you already know have been on conferences.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to get to that. But when was it that you first did a MediaWiki project? Do you remember? I guess back at Capgemini.
Well, it started before that, because in 2005, 2006, that's actually when it all started. I went in local politics, and one evening I asked my son, I said, well, if I go into local politics, I want some kind of Wikipedia for our municipality. And could you have a look how that could be done? So Bram is his name. He arranged that. He downloaded MediaWiki and put it on the same website site as our website, or on the same server. He installed it there. And that evening we created the first articles for Oosterhout. So it was oosterhout.wikilocal.nl, and that's when it started in 2006.
Yeah. Okay.
But of course, soon I discovered that it was very not user friendly. So when a colleague said to me, "Well, you should have a look. You should really have a look at Semantic MediaWiki and Semantic Forms." I think he mentioned at the same time. That's when things started to get interesting. Yeah. And that's when I said, that was a Capgemini, a colleague from Capgemini, and that's when I started doing things within Capgemini. And I think that must have been around, I think 2008. So, like you said.
Yeah, I see. Okay. 12. Okay. Yeah. The timing works out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. So when you said you went into local politics, that sometimes mean you were planning to run for office, or you just mean you were interested in politics?
Well, it was very local, because a guy in the street where I live, he was in the city council, and there were going to be elections in 2006, and he was planning to have his own local party, and he asked me if I wanted to join him. So I did.
Okay. Yeah.
And in 2006 we had only one seat in the council, so that was. But in 2010 we went to 4 seats. So then I've been in the city council from then until 2 years ago, 2018.
Oh wow!
So my local politics career is over now.
Are you still on the from the extent I understand parliamentary elections? Are you still on the list for the party?
But it's local elections, so that's very we are talking about the city council elections.
Right, but I'm saying if that party got as many seats as possible, are you somewhere on that list of people who would get back into the council?
No, not anymore.
Yeah, okay.
I've been very lucky. I was, so to speak, replaced by somebody who is much better than I am. So I'm very happy with the current situation.
All right. Do you think the wiki helped that with during the elections at all? Did people read it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Right.
No, I didn't. No. As a matter of fact, because it was very. I learned at the time it's very difficult to organize a community, because of course you need a community to to put information on the wiki, and that was very that proved there were some people that were very interested, and they tried, but it was difficult, and it was so there is no Oosterhout Wiki Local anymore.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's too bad.
No, it's not that. No, that's too bad. Perhaps it's going to come back sometime.
Yeah, and this time with forms, I guess, and properties and everything. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's some. No, but you're right. That's still something that's in the back of my head. So probably something is definitely going to come back. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, for local elections and politics and government, there really isn't a standard source for that. I'm sure there's a lot of municipalities, cities in the Netherlands and across the world where you just can't find information online about the city council and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that's definitely true. Yeah, yeah. If things go my way, so to say, then I would also have the I don't know, everything that has to do with money. How do you call that? The
financial.
The total financial information. When not only the financial, but let's say the complete statement about what such a municipality does and what it costs. That all together. How would you call that?
Budget. Budget stuff?
Budget. Budget. Yeah. I wouldn't mind to have a more transparent and even more public budget in the form of a wiki.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Well, that ties into the whole open government, open data movement, initiative, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Of course, let's say some things are probably going to be read only then, but also with that people can this is not going to work at the moment. Okay. That people can contribute in some way. I would really like that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What was I going to say? What year did you start Wikibase Solutions?
In 2012.
Yeah. Were you still working at Capgemini at that point?
The reason I started, things were a little bit difficult at the time at Capgemini, and I worked there for 23 years, and that means that it's not that attractive to go voluntarily. So they asked me to go, and that provided some let's say some funding to start Wikibase.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, it's like a golden parachute kind of thing. That's an American expression. I don't know if okay.
Golden parachute or a silver parachute, but anyway, it was. I was really happy when they. Normally, people are disappointed when they are told that they are not needed anymore. But I was. I had the plans already. For me that was a very nice thing.
Oh, okay. You were already thinking about starting your own consulting company?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So when you started Wikibase Solutions, it was you and that other guy, Eric?
No, I started in 2012. Eric joined in 2016.
Oh, okay. So in the beginning, was it just you?
Yes. In the beginning, it was just me. And then soon, I think after a year, Victor was joined me. And so he was the number one or number two. And I think then Dennis, who is also well-known community guy.
Yeah.
Who is? Yeah, Victor wasn't at the moment. We use now, and
Yeah.
So it was only me at the beginning. In the beginning, yes.
So how many people are there at Wikibase Solutions now?
I think together we are with 15 people, and not all of them, of course, full time. But I think we have around 9 or 10 full time equivalents.
Yeah.
So we have a very nice team, which I'm very proud of young and enthusiastic people.
Yeah.
And I'm very and they seem to like to work for Wikibase, which is of course very very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, it's for a wiki consulting company, that's a very large number, I think.
Yeah.
What was the sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We plan to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people do you think you can support at this point with the current work?
Yeah. Well, we are at. I think we try to. I should say we really succeed to have to have how do you say that equilibrium.
Right.
There's probably a easier word for that. So this is it, and we try to grow. And this year is going to be an interesting year because we have. I think we really have some very nice capabilities, and I think we really should be able to grow. And then we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll see what happens.
What was the process of growth like? I mean, has it been just steady throughout, or was there some period of time when it, jumped up in number?
Yeah, it really jumped when we had this big customer in the United States, SimpleGov. So that's where I should say that's really when it the team doubled, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which was in the end of 2016, and before that, it's really. I started let's say in the not in the attic, but at home, and then it takes a while before you get the first customer, and then it takes a while before you get the second, and then you see that things. Yeah, that's how it works. And if the idea is good and the work is good, then you get new customers. But in the beginning, it goes very slowly, and then it goes. The word spreads, I think.
Yeah, it definitely gets easier.
Yeah.
So you mentioned SimpleGov or you have SimpleGov listed on your website as an example of client work. Are you guys still doing work for them?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's a cool site. So what kinds of projects have you done? Do you have a focus, whether it's on government things or anything else?
As you can perhaps remember, one of the first, or I think the first presentation I did in a conference, I think I said, and that I had made a choice, and that's still very important. I think that I wanted to be in the primary processes of companies. So I think that was a kind of a strange decision, because usually MediaWiki systems are about knowledge management
Right.
kind of things,
Right.
and that's typically secondary processes. So that's not a process that makes money for companies, but it's a process for doing things better.
Yes.
And I learned at Capgemini that it can be very difficult to. Yeah, that's not the kind of systems that I wanted to work. So from the very beginning, I decided to make wikis that really support the making money of companies.
Yeah.
And able to make. Yeah. So the first real customer was I created a wiki. Well, you really can't call it a wiki because it's a wiki that enables you to make to describe projects, price lists, proposals, invoices, planning, etc. So more like some kind of a small ERP system.
Right. Okay.
And that's where it's that's still a kind, because that was your question, and what kind of customers do you have, what kind of wikis do you so that's still the kind of wikis we do, and for usually small companies. And on the other side of the spectrum is SimpleGov, which is a global platform. And we have a very nice customer at this moment, the Raad van State in the Netherlands. That's a very chic institution, and there we are really doing a knowledge management system.
Okay. Well, what's it called? Sorry.
Raad van State.
All right.
The Raad van State in the Netherlands. That's the institution that does. If you have an argument with, for example, a municipality about government kind of things, then you don't go to an ordinary judge, but you end up at the Raad van State.
Okay.
So they are also judges, but for civil, I think, no, not civil right, bestuursrecht. Issues concerning government.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, in those examples too, it sounds like the wiki is pretty integral to the end product, I guess, of these companies and organizations.
Yeah.
Definitely. Obviously, with SimpleGov, that is the product, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, SimpleGov that is the product, and with the Raad van State also, they are legal. It's all legal persons, but it's really a knowledge organization, and so over there also the people use it to do their work, their daily work. Yeah.
Yeah. So where are your clients generally located? In the Netherlands, or they're all over?
We have of course, SimpleGov in the United States, but two more in the United States, and in the Netherlands, that's about it, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Oh, one in Australia also, but that's only a wiki that we host, and
Yeah. Nice.
So that's not a very active customer. Yeah.
How do you get most clients at this point? Is it through referrals or just web searches, or are there other ways? Do you go to trade shows, that kind of thing?
They call us.
Oh, okay. Wow. Oh, how do they find you?
That's that's a question that we don't really know. I think our biggest customers found us through the website and were looking for MediaWiki support.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely makes things much easier. When you don't have to sell MediaWiki to people. That's something I think a lot of MediaWiki consultants are trying to figure out is how to sell MediaWiki. because it can be a big bridge to overcome or something.
But the other, I think we really have two sides in the company. One side is that we really know a lot by now about MediaWiki, and we are really I think advanced in support for MediaWiki solutions.
Right.
And those customers, they know how to find us because they are looking for MediaWiki expertise, and they find us. And the other part is that's more those ERP kind of systems. Those are customers. They don't care what is under the hood and what is if it's MediaWiki or something else. They don't care.
Right.
So they are really looking for solutions.
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to get into that same kind of space with ERP and all those other 3-letter acronyms, BPM and gosh, now I can't even think of the other ones, CRM and whatever else.
We have. I can give you two examples. Well, one we have some roof customers. So these are companies that make roofs, flat roofs,
right?
And we have let's say an application, a web application, and that enables them to go on the roof, to inspect the roof, to make pictures, and when they get down from the roof, and to put some information about deficiencies, etc., and what must be done to fix things. And when they get off the roof, there is a report according to NEN 2767, I think. So it's all very with all kinds of mathematics around scores of condition of the roof and of parts of the roof and the building, and they like it very much. So that's so people go on the roof with a tablet and use our wiki.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Instead of having to create a custom app or something.
It's a bit weird. It's not the typical MediaWiki solution, I would say.
Okay, sure.
But they are very happy with. Yeah, but they are very happy with it.
Yeah.
And of course, people ask, well, why the hell should you use MediaWiki for that? But we are still very happy with the flexibility. And especially when it comes to data and data storage, with Semantic MediaWiki, with Cargo, with Elasticsearch nowadays.
Yeah.
And for SimpleGov, we have created our own storage, which is, so this flexibility is really something. It's really very interesting. So we are not looking anywhere but to MediaWiki.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if the alternative is creating a custom app, that's going to be a lot more expensive to create, and it's going to be a lot more and difficult to maintain over however long the client wants to keep using it.
Yeah.
So I wonder, since you talked about our ERP and getting involved in the business processes and so forth, for a lot of MediaWiki consulting companies, what they end up doing is creating a branded package of software and templates and whatever else, and giving it a custom name, so that they're not selling MediaWiki, they're selling whatever this thing is, whatever name they give it, and they say this this is what we just need to install this thing or host it or whatever it is, and it'll take care of these specific business cases instead of having to try to explain, the entire MediaWiki ecosystem. Have you considered doing that kind of thing?
We are working on something like that. Our approach is that we have modules around, let's say specific functionality. So CRM module, workflow module, questionnaires. So our approach is that functionality that we develop for customers, we try to isolate that and make it and make a module from it. And I think we have around eight modules at the moment.
Oh, okay.
And those modules we are able to. So essentially, you can select modules, and then which is essentially a number of pages in the wiki combined with some files, CSS files, configuration files. We have some extensions, so the whole package is a module, and of course once you we haven't packaged it yet. We haven't packaged it yet, and the working name is Wiki Suite.
Oh, nice.
But we are working on it. But what we want to achieve is to have off-the-shelf functionality, so that you can select things, and then also install it with one click on a button, and then you can start modifying things.
Yeah.
And the modifying things is about changing templates and forms, etc.
Right. Would it be all open source, or would people have to buy these from you?
No, those modules. That's a good question. Those modules are not open source, and I'm not sure if they are going to be open source. But I think we didn't discuss that yet. We should be able to make them. What we did, of course, you understand that you want to have everything in Git, of course, and then you also always have the problem, because if things are in Git, you can easily install things with Ansible, or create a Docker container from it. But of course, pages, templates, and forms, they are not in files; they are in the database. So that's kind of a problem.
Yeah, right. You could put those into Git too, or GitHub, or whatever.
Yeah, we have an extension that does that, so that you can say, well, I want this page on file, and then it creates a file, and it automatically syncs the page with the file, so that you can put it on Git, and that you have everything in Git for the modules.
Right.
So so then you could make it an extension for an extension-like thing, such a module.
Yeah, right.
And upgrade it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough question. Whether to make that kind of thing free and open source, or whether to charge for it and or charge for consulting around it or whatever. I don't know the right answer for that. Business wise.
I think it's well, we haven't thought about that, but I don't think that's going to happen, because if you want to make things open source, then you also these are not these are really building blocks. So you don't it's the building blocks to create solutions, and so you really don't. They're not easy to use, I think. So you would need to have a similar approach for delivering solutions.
Yeah, sure.
For
Right.
modules.
Yeah, even if it's
any
free.
use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People still need a lot of what they call hand holding usually.
But that's of course we do want to make money with the work that we do and make customers happy and
yeah. Speaking of naming, has the name Wikibase Solutions caused problems for you at all with the with Wikibase, the extension?
No, not yet.
Yeah. Okay.
No. But, and you were right that we were there first.
Yeah, we gotta blame Denny Vrandicic for that one, or whoever it was that actually came up with it.
Sometimes we get a question from organizations that really want to use Wikibase.
Oh, okay.
And they think we do that as well, but that's not that often.
Yeah. Okay. In theory, you could, although ideally you would tell them not to use Wikibase, but that's another story.
I tell them to go to Karsten and Yaron.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Yaron was on the podcast a few months ago. So you have a bunch of MediaWiki extensions that you've created, or that your company has created.
Yeah.
I want to talk about those. Do you happen to know how many your company has created altogether?
Altogether,
it's probably a
lot. I think between 10 and 50. Well, I should be able to see that if I open source tree and have a look in the Git.
Well, yeah, you have a GitHub page, but it doesn't. I mean, it lists 5 of them, I think, but I know you have more than that.
Yeah. Yeah, but possibly 5 of them are really. Now we do have more. Of course, we do have more than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, around 10.
Yeah.
Between 10 and 15, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Of the 5 on GitHub, 4 have pages on MediaWiki.org. I believe I did some research. So I assume those are the ones that are fully released. And those are called WS arrays, WS stats, page edit restrictions, and source protection. I'm guessing the WS, the beginning of all these extension or the extension names that have them stands for Wikibase Solutions.
Yeah, definitely.
Could you describe any of those extensions? I've heard about somebody presented WS arrays, I think, at the last SMWCon. But,
yeah, right. WS arrays is, of course, we have the arrays extension, which is a very nice extension, and we used it a lot. And WS arrays is, I'm probably not enough a technical. It does associative arrays. Is that the right word?
Sure.
It goes further. So I think it really is. Could you call it a wrapper around PHP arrays? And
sure. I mean, every extension is a wrapper around PHP. Yeah, around PHP arrays.
Right.
Sure. Yeah. No,
yeah.
Sure.
And we really like we use it a lot.
Yeah.
And it really enables you to be a little bit more flexible. And we also have a a result format for it, so you can query Semantic MediaWiki and put things in a complex array, and then do more. I think that's more advanced stuff with it than you could do with the ordinary arrays extension.
Sure. Yeah. I don't think the regular arrays extension lets you loop through an array, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, at some point it makes sense to start using Scribunto / aka Lua if you really need to do a ton of
that's
looping,
that's also what Mark Herzberger said. Why would you want WS arrays if you have Lua? Perhaps he's right, but we don't use Lua that much.
Okay.
So that's probably an area for us to discover.
Well, I mean, whatever works for you is good. That's interesting. I have links to all these extensions from the episode page for this episode. So the next one is WS Stats. What can you say about that?
Yeah, that's simply about registering user clicks, I would say. So it's about registering what pages are visited by which users.
Oh wow, okay. Do you have to add in?
I think that's the basic.
Yeah, is that running on all wikis that you've set up? I mean, does everybody want to know about that? Okay.
No.
And then page edit restrictions.
Page edit restrictions. Well, we had. I think it's about some specific authorization. Also the source protection.
Right.
I think it's about specific scenarios. The source protection, I do know it means that when you are not allowed to edit the page, you are also not allowed to see the source code.
Right, that was the one I was most curious about, that source protection one. I didn't understand it. Why bother hiding the wiki text of the page?
Well, I think it is especially interesting for templates, for example, because in the templates is the functionality. When we develop things for customers in templates, and there the let's say the functionality of the wiki is there, and also
is the idea that it can be
things that you just don't.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sure. Yeah, that you don't want the user to be able to see that.
Is the idea that there can be hidden information in on pages and template calls? So it's like a protection thing. Well,
it can have to do with security
right.
kind of subjects. Yeah, so that you just don't want to people to know how we do things, and because we don't complain about the fact that there is no authorization or page protection kind of stuff in MediaWiki. We don't mind. But that means that for specific customers, we always create our own, let's say, specific scenarios. So ways to solve that problem in specific use cases. And in the templates, it shows how that is done and what kind of mechanisms we use and how it's organized. So I don't say that if people would be able to understand that it would be unsecure, but it's just none of their business. So
okay.
Yeah. But you have to see it as a web application and not as a wiki. If you go to Wikipedia, of course, everything is transparent and open. But if you develop a web application and the templates are in fact the source code for the functionality,
yeah, sure. I mean, I can definitely I can understand hiding that from the interface, so there's no link to or tab or whatever for viewing source, but then going the extra step and actually preventing people from viewing the source. I was just wondering what the motivation was behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's it. Of course, we developed that one because there was a specific need for a customer.
Okay.
We don't use that extension automatically in all our wikis.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I guess in part I was just wondering what is it about these 4 extensions that made you put in the extra effort to release them, and fully document them and that kind of thing. But maybe it's I'm sure to some extent it's just coincidence what gets released and what doesn't.
Yeah, it definitely is, and of course. An important thing is that when we think others might like it, we also want to do something back for the community. Of course, that's
right. Yeah. So speaking of released and unreleased extensions, there's another extension of yours that I want to talk about, which I don't think has been released yet. You probably know which one I'm talking about.
Is it still not released? Is it not on the MediaWiki.org yet? No, probably not. But there are some people that use it.
We're talking about the WSForm extension.
Yeah, WSForm extension. Yeah.
Are there people outside of Wikibase Solutions who are using it already?
Yeah, some of them. But now that you mention it, and so, because there are people who are interested. Yeah, some people express their interest, and I must say I don't know the current exact situation about putting it on MediaWiki.org, but I think that's going to happen.
Okay. Yeah, I assume since already people from Wikibase Solutions have presented it and talked about it at various conferences. So just for some perspective for people listening to this podcast, if you don't know, I'm the main author of an extension called Page Forms. You mentioned it used to be called Semantic Forms. That's the first extension I wrote and probably my most important extension. So WSForm has a similar concept to it. They both involve forms for editing pages. Without getting too much into the technical details, what would you say are the main differences between Page Forms and WSForms?
Well, Page Forms, as it says, it's about pages on the wiki. So you go to a page and you can change the source code of the page with the form.
Right.
And the form is, of course, when you open a form, you go to a special page.
Right.
And I think the main difference is that with WSForm, anyway, that's when it started, was with the need to have forms on a page.
Right.
And be able to put forms on a page, and so on any page, and be able to change other pages. And then Charlie started to develop a WSForm, and he wanted it to be as much as HTML forms as possible. So there's also quite a difference in the way you
the syntax,
the form.
Yeah,
the syntax. Yeah, and he told me that, or that's what I experienced also, that a form does a lot more than only changing, let's say, content on a page. You also can use it to send an email, or you can use it to put parameters in the URL and only refresh the page, and you can use it to to change multiple pages at the same time.
Yeah, sure. That's sure. That's true. Yeah, there's a lot that Page Forms doesn't do. Some on purpose, some just because it hasn't been done, and some just because it doesn't make sense given the constraints of Page Forms. I
must say, Yaron, I my goal was or the idea was that WSForm could do it all, but a current customer that we are working on for at this moment, I must say I reintroduced page forms, because for when you have the situation that you have pages in a wiki and you just need a form to edit that page, then page forms is an easier solution, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
So we are using them both. Both of them.
Yeah, you mentioned forms on pages. That's I agree. That's something that can be really useful that WSForm does well. I think I remember a demo of WSForm. I don't remember which conference it was. Probably maybe 2018. I don't know. Where there was a form to just add one template instance to a page. I don't remember the type of data it was. Let's say it was restaurant reviews. So basically, you just have a form at the bottom of the page to let the user add their one review or whatever it was, and then it gets automatically added to the list of reviews on that page. It wasn't restaurant reviews, but whatever it was. And I'm guessing that was basically a multiple instance template where each review or whatever it is one call to that template. So you can do that in page forms. It's just a lot more complicated. You have to click on edit with form and then get to the form and then scroll all the way down through the existing reviews or whatever they are, and then click the add another button and then add in your review.
And I'm not sure if that specific situation was multiple instance template kind of thing.
Oh, really?
It could also be that those things were stored on separate pages, and that the page was brief.
Okay. Well, all right. In that case, okay. That's certainly possible. Yeah. In that case, it's not totally different from what Page Forms provides, because you can have a pop-up form. So it's one extra step. You have to click on launch form or something, and then it creates a pop-up form, and then you fill that in, and it updates the list, as opposed to just having it right on the page from the beginning. All right. Okay. Yeah.
We use it also. I'm looking at an extension that's not published yet, but that's very interesting, and we combine that with WSForm. Is that you are on we use it for invoices, but you can use it for any page. So we have an invoice page, and you have a button that says create PDF. So that creates a PDF from the page and stores it on the wiki. And then you have a button send the invoice to the customer by email. So it sends an email with the PDF attached to it. And that's the kind of thing that we use WSForm for as well. So that means that you have forms. It gathers some information from the page and provides a button, and then the action can be in this case create a PDF file or send an email with the PDF attached, or So that's cool. Also the kind of thing we do with forms. So we use forms for really all kinds of things.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that gets into something I was wondering about. Because the I've seen the syntax for WSForm. It's comparable to page forms in terms of the basic idea, but I think it's, if anything, it's simpler, even though it can kind of look complex because it's HTML like. But I think there are fewer options than in page forms. But in all the demos I've seen, there are all these slick things that can get done, whether it's creating PDFs or just or whatever else. And the interface itself looks slick. So I'm guessing there's a lot of custom JavaScript behind the scenes that has to be written specifically for each of these forms that lets them do these complicated things. Is that fair? Is that true?
You are asking a technical question, and I think this this one may be just beyond the limits of my knowledge.
Okay, all right.
I do know that we have definitely, for some things you really need JavaScript. That I know, but
I guess what I'm really asking is how off the shelf WSForms is at this point. Yeah, but all right, okay.
Definitely. Well, I think I can answer that question. That Charlie, of course, it's quite. It's not straightforward to make it off the shelf, but and extendable. Because of course the idea is if you want to enhance the capabilities of WSForm, then you wanted to do that in such a way that other developers can do that easily. But I think it's quite off the shelf, but I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
In the sense that you don't need to do. You can use it definitely off the shelf, and it's extendable in a let's say responsible way.
When you say responsible, you mean, I'm not sure actually what you mean by that. I'm guessing you mean not a hacky kind of way. It's
that's what I mean.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Well, and that people that want to extend it are able to do that also in a way that is new releases of WSForm don't break things.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
That.
I said WSForms before, but it's WSForm. Yeah, well, just the fact that people outside of Wikibase Solutions are using it is I guess a sign that it's not it's not just a framework for custom solutions or something. I mean, it's usable by people who aren't the authors of the software. Yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, I mean, just briefly about this. I guess it's self-indulgent for me to keep talking about forms, but I do think it would be great for page forms to allow embedding of forms within pages in one way or another. So yeah, I'm inspired by what you guys have done with WSForm. Anyway, So I guess back to talking about more general, less technical things. I don't know if Wikibase Solutions is the largest MediaWiki-based consulting company. It might be. I don't know, but it's probably at least one of the largest, and it's probably also the biggest consulting company in the world that has wiki in its name.
Do you think so?
I think so. Yeah. I don't know, unless you know about something else. I mean, I think that counts for something, assuming it's true, because a lot of MediaWiki-based consulting companies or consulting companies in general try to minimize in one way or another the fact that it's MediaWiki specific and instead make it about their product or just try to avoid scaring people, if that's the word. But obviously you guys have done very well, being upfront about the fact that you deal in wikis.
I think this separation maybe we haven't figured out yet how to handle that, because we are, on the one side we are really MediaWiki specialists, and on the other side we use the MediaWiki platform to create a flexible framework for ordinary business solutions, and these two are very different, because the one customer chooses you because you are good at MediaWiki, and the other one is interested in a flexible solution.
Right.
But you say perhaps the largest, but you don't say the best.
I don't know what best means. Well, if I had to say the best consulting company that has wiki in its name, I would probably give a different answer, but that's
Yeah.
that's just personal bias.
You could, yeah, right. But I must say what I'm very proud of is when I started, I didn't know anything about HTML, CSS, PHP, really. Only templates and forms, and that's it. So I was very creative in using the available solutions. But right now I think we do an awful lot. We are when you look at SimpleGov, the user interface is very you don't see it's a wiki.
Sure.
We create our own extensions. We use Docker. Of course, we've been inspired by Lex Sulzer, who talked about Docker. We know everything about Elasticsearch. So
cool.
We are able to deploy to AWS in a responsible way with a good development process, and we know about Azure. We have wikis running in Docker containers on Azure as well. So lots of aspects. We cover a lot of aspects that are
right.
That make us a professional company, I think. Yeah. So that's.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. No, it's absolutely. It's a lot more than just knowing wiki text or syntax or anything.
And there are so much. I think there are some. But that's. I'm repeating myself now from the first presentation. I think there are so much opportunities with MediaWiki. I still think that. So it's kind of weird that we are perhaps the largest and so probably not the best, but
you should say you're the best, definitely. I mean,
I definitely say that I'm proud of what we can do, and and all the different aspects, important aspects of delivering professional solutions based on MediaWiki, with the different aspects that we cover. That's for sure.
Yeah. Just briefly, if anyone is interested in hearing about Elasticsearch, the previous episode I talked to the main search guy at the Wikimedia Foundation, Eric Bernhardt's, and so we talked quite a bit about Elasticsearch. It's quite interesting software, to the extent I understand it. Yeah, I mean, I think there are people. Well, I know there are a lot of people in consulting who listen to this podcast, or a fair amount. And I think there are other people who are considering going into consulting around MediaWiki. Do you have any advice for people? Speaking of, the opportunities that are still available, for MediaWiki and all kinds of usages.
yeah, I would say go for it and call us if we can help. We will do that.
Yeah.
I still think the market there. I feel it's like a real blue ocean we are swimming in. So that means that it's in terms of competition. It's we don't experience really any competition,
Right.
because we are doing still we are doing unique things. There are small companies that really want IT support that really fits their way of working, their processes. They come to us and we can help them, and we can help them in a way that other companies can't do. So it's really a blue ocean, and there's plenty of room for other companies, I think, or for other people. Yeah.
Yeah. I totally agree. Our competition isn't really one another. It's just every other piece of software, whether it's appropriate or not for the kinds of things that MediaWiki can do. So actually, this is interesting. You obviously have experience with Microsoft consulting, all that kind of thing. More the type of stuff people are more used to in terms of consulting services. Do you think MediaWiki could benefit from more of an infrastructure, like a certification process or that kind of thing that other applications, usually proprietary, have?
Yeah. And would you want MediaWiki to appear in some Gartner Magic Quadrant? Yeah.
Sure, I suppose. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about
Yeah.
certification, for example,
Um,
or training courses, all that?
yeah, you mean like the Microsoft professional kind of trainings, something
Sure.
like that,
Yeah.
for developers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, if that would help. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we
I
still
have
have
no
to
idea.
go a long way, because this is a very interesting subject, of course, but also a difficult subject. Yeah, we see the MW stake group as a vehicle to do things. So Eric Jan, my partner, has offered to become a member of the board, I think.
Oh, okay.
But I must be honest that it's also it's difficult to find the time and to do the right things. So it's very easy to say, well, yes, that would be nice, but the next step would be, all right, how do you go so what are you going to do about it?
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
That's when you are, you say, well, that we might be the biggest, and with questions like that, people tend to look at the biggest. So you also have some responsibility then.
Potentially. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I think you're right that whatever kinds of whatever kinds of decisions are made, it's probably best done by some kind of central body, consortium, or whatever else. Obviously, if someone's in charge of certification, there has to be some kind of consensus behind it.
But this a Gartner quadrant, I think MediaWiki should be somewhere on the same list as SharePoint or Confluence or.
Yeah, I totally agree. But the people MediaWiki is never even in the same sentence, is never discussed. But I don't think the people making those kinds of decisions I'm not sure if they've even heard of MediaWiki. That's the big challenge for all of us in this business. Getting people to know about the software.
Yeah. But there are still companies that say, well, we all know Wikipedia. Wikipedia is worldwide. Wikipedia is secure, reliable, etc., etc. So that's a platform to use or to consider. Or
yeah, sure, absolutely. No, it's sort of a mixed blessing. I mean, it's definitely a blessing. I mean, without Wikipedia and those sites, there would be no MediaWiki, and nobody would hear about it. But on the other hand, it gives people a very specific sense of what the software can do, and obviously, the kinds of wikis that you guys create are very different in both the front end and the back end from the Wikipedia style. Yeah,
that's for sure. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but that's when we. I used to do that regularly, to ask myself, is MediaWiki and at that time it really was Semantic MediaWiki, but right now is MediaWiki the right platform for business solutions, where when it comes to flexibility and being able to deliver solutions quickly that really fit companies' processes. And I still think MediaWiki is a perfect platform for that, with some amazing flexibility in areas like data, regarding data or user interface. Amazing flexibility that's really useful.
Yeah.
So I think this choice that I made at the beginning, that I want to create business solutions that support people making money and support primary processes. That's also an advice, I think, for developers or consultants that want to. That's also an advice. I would do that. Just do it.
Yeah. That does make a lot of sense. I think that's very good advice to try to focus on that instead of. Just making a wiki for people, or something to store their notes in.
Yeah.
Cool. I think that's a good way. That's a good place to end this interview on. We talked about a lot of stuff. That was great. Anything else you want to mention?
I want to thank you. I'm really proud that I can be. I'm having my own podcast.
Well, great, yeah, and it's great to have you on. Obviously, you've done very well with MediaWiki, and it's a pleasure to talk to you. So yeah, thank you for being on the podcast.
Yeah, it was nice.
And this has been another episode of Between the Brackets. I want to again thank my guest, Strack van Schijndel of Wikibase Solutions, for a good discussion. And if you're like me and stuck at home right now as a result of this global pandemic, I certainly feel for you. Stay safe. And if you're looking for something to pass the time, you could do worse than going through the back catalog of Between the Brackets. There's 40 to 50 hours of good MediaWiki related discussions in there. In any case, I'll see you next time.